Welcome back, students, to day 2 Laws of Exponent. Let's have a quick revision of what we have studied on day 1. We had already seen some basics law of exponent, in which the first law was a raised to m times a raised to n equals to a times m plus n, where a was your real positive number and m and n are the rational numbers. Okay, when you are given with the same base and your powers or exponent are in the multiplication, your exponent will be getting added. Same way, the second law says a raised to m upon a raised to n gives you a raised to m by n. That means whenever your powers, rational number powers, are in division format, your exponent or your power will be getting subtracted, in which we already saw three cases where, let's take first example, was m is greater than n. So for if my m is greater than n, I will get my answer as a positive number. Whereas my n is greater than m, my answer will be a negative format. And my case 3, where my m will be equals to n, my answer will always be equals to 1. Third, we saw that a raised to m and times n gives you a m n. That means suppose we are taking a as 8 and m as 1 by 3 as well as n as 1 by 2. So my number will be, let's take 8 times 1 by 2 times 1 by 3. So my final answer would be a raised to the power 6, as 2 times 3 gives you 6. Okay. Moving ahead to the fourth law, which says a times b the whole raised to m, where you can see that my bases are getting different. It's different rather than all the three cases we studied earlier. In this case, my a and b, that means my bases are different and my exponent is equal. So for this case, my law says my m, that means my exponent will be given them individually. Okay. For a further clarification, let's take a as 4 times, let's b take 9 whole raised to 1 by 2. So I will get my answer as 4 times 1 by 2 and 9 times 1 by 2. So when you solve that, 4 is the square root of 2. That means 2 times 1 by 2, and 9 is the square root of 3. Okay. So 3 times 1 by 2. This 2 getting cancelled, 2 getting cancelled. So I got my answer as 2 times 3, which gives me 6. This we already studied in the last class. Now, day 2, where we are going to study a further more laws of exponent, in which my first law says that a by b whole raised to m is equals to 1 by m upon b by m. Let's say I'm taking my a as, let's see, it's taking a, we are taking my a as 16, and let b is equals to 4, and I'm taking my m as a rational number, which would be equal to 1 by 2. So moving ahead, as my second step says, give them their exponent individually. So I will, wherever I will see my a, I will write 16. Wherever I see b, I will write 4. Giving them their numbers, their exponent individually, that means raised to 1 by 2, raised to 1 by 2. Now, the second step would be 16. 16 is the square root of, what my 16 is? The 16 is my square root of 4. So, I can write it as 4 square, as well as 2. 2 is my square root, or 4 is my square root of 2. So, I can write 2 square. And my m, which is my rational number, I am writing it as it is multiplied by 1 by 2 multiplied by 1 by 2. In the next step, my multiplication, numerator get divided by your denominator, 2 getting cancelled. So my final answer would be 4 by 2. which on further simplification 2 ones are 2 and 2 twos are 4. So my final answer, I can write it as 2 by 1, or I can write as 2. Clear? Moving on to law number 6, where a raised to 0 is equals to 1, and where a is a non-zero number, real number, where I don't have to take my a as 0. I can't take my a as 0. It should be any rational number or something, but it can't be 0. So let's say I'm taking my a as 7. So substituting the value 7 raised to 0. So if I find my any number whose power is 0, it will always give me my answer as 1. You should keep this thing in mind. Whenever you have taken any number whose power is 0, so your final answer will always be equals to 1. Moving on to the sixth, after 6, we are moving on to 7th rule. 1 upon a raised to m gives me a raised to minus m. As we know that whenever sides change, your sign as well as change. So this denominator is getting converted to numerator. So that is why we are giving it a minus sign. So getting better clarity, let's take my a as 9. And I'm taking my m as 1 by 2. Okay. Now substituting my value, 1 upon 9 raised to 1 by 2. As my rule says, I will change my denominator to numerator. So as soon as I will change my denominator to numerator, what will be getting changed? My power will get negative sign. Clear? Now what is 9? So 9 is my perfect square of 3. So I can write it as 3 square times minus 1 by 2. As I said earlier, this bracket means your multiplication. Now my power is getting multiplied. That means 3 raised to 2 multiplied by 1 upon 2, which is negative. So this 2 and this 2 is getting cancelled. So I will get my answer as 3 raised to minus 1. This 3 raised to minus 1 is also correct, and you can as well as write it as 1 by 3 if you want to get rid of this negative exponent. If you want to get rid of any exponent which is negative, you can write that number in the denominator of 1. You will get your answer in a positive manner. Moving on to our law number 8, which says a raised to 1 by n gives you n under root a. So getting better clarity, let's take my a as 27. Okay, and let's take my n as 3. Let's take n as my 3. So I'm writing this in my LHS format, which is 27 raised to 1 by 3. As our identity or as our rule says, it will be getting converted into such format. So we can write this as 3 under root 27. Yes, you can. Now, as we know, it will be, what is 27? The 27 is the cube root of 3. So I can write it as 3 cube, and this 3, it will be converted into 1 by 3. If the root is alone, its value will be 1 by 2. If any number is in front of root, it will be getting 1 by, suppose only root is given 27. So you will write, for simplification format, 1 by 2. If 3 times under root 27 is given, you will write 27 raised to 1 by 3. If it is given 4 times under root 27, you can write it as 27 times 1 by 4. That means whatever or whichever number is in front of root, it will be getting upon 1 by any number you are selecting. Okay. So getting back to our sum, this 3 getting cancelled. So your answer will be positive 3. Clear? Moving on to our ninth law, which says m raised under root a times m is equals to m times 1 by m. Okay. So let's take my a as, I'm taking it as 16, and I'm taking my m as 3. Now I can change my letter. I'm changing this letter as n, and I'm changing this, okay, as n. So I'm taking another number, n equals to 2. So how can you solve this? So substituting the value under root 16, n, what is my n? So it's 2 times m. What is my m? So it's 3. So how can you write, as our identity says, 16 times 3 is equal to 1 by 2. So as you can see over here, my 3 and 2 is not getting cancelled. So I can write it as 16 raised to 3 by 2. Yes, for sure. Because 3 ones are 3. So you will get 3 by 2. For simplification, how can I write, what is my 16? My 16 is the perfect square of 4. So can I write it as 4 square? Yes, I can. As soon as I will change my 16, it will get converted to 4 square. And my power is as it is 3 by 2. This 2 is getting cancelled. So I will write, and I will get my answer as 4 raised to 3, which can be further solved as 4 fours are 16 and 16 fours are 64. So you will get your final answer as 64, or in the power format you will get your answer as 4 raised to 3. Moving ahead to next, which I can't say it's a perfect law which is used, but in some cases we are using this, which says suppose a is any positive real number, which we already have considered. We have already taken a as mostly a positive real numbers, where m and n are integers. Now this case is new. We are taking here as any integers. That means it can be negative number as well. It can be negative. Such case that m and n have no common factors than other than 1. So n will be greater than 0. Okay. Let's take the example 1, where I can take my a as, I'm taking my a as 27, and I'm taking my negative numbers. Okay. So I'm taking my value of m as 2 and my n as 3. So I need to take any negative integers. I have to take integers. Integers, what are integers? It will be negative, positive, or 0. That means on your number line, you will get the numbers from negative numbers like -1, -2, 0, 1, and 2. That means this will be called as your integer. So I'm taking both the numbers as positive. So how I will solve this? Now substitute the values. 27 raised to, what is my m? So it's 2. What is my n? So it's 3. So I got my value 27 raised to 2 by 3. Now what is 27? How can I write 27? So I can say my 27 is the cube root of 3. 3 times 3, it gives me 27. So I can write it as 3 times 3 multiplied by 2 by 3. This 3 and this 3 is getting cancelled. I got my answer as 3 square. Now what does this 3 square mean? 3 threes are 9. So I will get my final answer as 9.